So over the past year or so, I've been doing reviews of ADV bikes, of touring bikes, sport touring bikes, and things like that. But I'm gonna go back to my roots on this one. I have a long history with sport bikes, and a friend of mine is letting me borrow his Gixxer-750. Let's go take it for a spin. Let's do first impressions on the 2023 GSX-R750R.
I feel like this is a long time coming to be on a newer GSX-R750. It was a very long time ago. I was working at a motorcycle dealership. Sold Suzuki's, Yamahas, Hondas, not Kawasaki's, ironically enough, and I'm a fan of Kawasaki, as you guys know if you watch the channel. But I fell in love, absolutely fell in love. This was probably 2007 with a white GSX-R750. And I was so close to buying it, but just couldn't afford it at the time. And I have not ridden a modern age 750 in a long time. I've had the ZX7, which was actually a 750. I did have a GSX-R750, but it was like a 1998 or something like that. The big boxy one with the S-Rad intakes. Like, it was a cool bike, but this is a work of art. This is such a track machine. So my buddy that owns this, he rides it all over the place. He bought it just several months ago, really, and he's put almost 4,000 miles on it, but he's been off the bike for 3 months because he had an injury on his dirt bike. While he's down, he contacted me and said, hey, would you mind doing some work on my bike? So brought the bike over to my garage. I'll be filming a video of an aftermarket exhaust install on it. Alright, very first impressions. This is a race machine. The power delivery is fantastic. It's instant torque. Definitely a sport bike, not a 600. It's a lot quicker than a 600 is, but it has the same nimble, lightweight feel as a 600. It doesn't feel like a 1000 or a 1400 that has that power, but also it carries the weight that comes with it. As of right now, this bike is completely stock. Truthfully, the bike hasn't changed much since the one that I fell in love with, the 2007 or 2008. There hasn't been a whole lot of changes from the Suzuki lineup in their sport bikes, and that's kind of sad. And I do find it interesting that Suzuki still produces the 750 because there isn't really much of a race class for them in club racing. Nissan, you go, and then I go. When racing these in club racing like CCS or WERA, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you have to class up and race these in the 1000 group. And that doesn't seem like a really fair thing to do in a lot of cases. So when you're looking at a sport bike, there's a lot of things you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for your power output, you're going to be looking for your horsepower, you're going to be looking at your cost, weight differences, but one of the things you really need to consider is what do you plan to do with it? Are you commuting with it? Are you racing it? Are you doing track days with it? Straight line riding? Like what's your real goal of riding a sport bike? And this bike is a very versatile tool because it has the ability to go incredibly fast, much faster than anybody really needs to do on a public road, which makes it fantastic on the racetrack, whether that be a GP street style track or if that's a drag race strip. It's definitely usable at both of those locations. This bike does have 3 separate power modes. Does come stock with fully adjustable suspension front and rear, as most sport bikes do these days, but it does come with a steering damper. It sounds pretty good just for the stock exhaust. Now, I will add that the owner has bypassed the butterfly valve on the exhaust. I haven't pulled it apart yet to see if it's in its open position or if it's in a closed position, so we'll see when I do the exhaust modifications what that ends up looking like. Absolutely beautiful day here in Houston, Texas. Finally got a reprieve from the cold. And yes, I'm aware it's not as cold as it is in the Northeast. Got a lot of friends up north that have been getting snow. Nope, we don't have that. It just gets bitterly cold for like 3 weeks and then it gets like this again. It's like 75 degrees and sunny out today. Alright, let's dig into this bike a little bit. As I mentioned before, not a whole lot has changed in the Suzuki lineup as far as the features, the form. Some of the design aspects of the bikes have changed, but for the most part the bikes have stayed fairly stagnant, which is unfortunate for them because I think they have such an awesome platform. I'd love to see them mix it up a little bit, do something new, like add a quick shifter, add a hydraulic clutch, do something to make this bike different than it was before. I feel like there's a missed opportunity there because there aren't many other manufacturers that are making a 750. And if you're somebody who is looking to get their second bike, somebody who is no longer a beginner but wants to get something sporty but light, the 750 is a prime option for that. But let's talk about value too. I'll say, and I might get some hate for this, this bike MSRP is right around $13,000. I hear a siren. Nobody behind me. Must not be me. There they are. Alright, let's try that again before I was scared by the sirens. I don't know that this bike is worth the $13,000 that they're asking for it. I feel like the 600s these days are so competitive. Do you really need to spend the extra $3,000 to $4,000 to get 150 cc's more and not have the cool bits on it? Now, don't get me wrong, 600s are expensive now. The last time I bought a brand new 600 was in 2009 and I paid $7,000 for it. You cannot do that anymore. A $7,000 600 doesn't exist. But if you are racing, let me take that back. If you are doing track days and you want to go super fast and really upset the 1000 riders out there, the 750 is where it's at. Now, as far as the ergonomics of this bike, the rear sets are adjustable, which is cool. That is something that didn't happen back in the early 2000s when they debuted this version. That wasn't an option. The fact that you can raise and lower your rear sets based on the length of your leg and how comfortable you want to be, that's cool. That's a cool feature. But most track day riders, most racers, swap out the OEM rear sets for a hard mount rear set. Sport bikes are never comfortable. They're not meant to be comfortable. They're meant to be little rockets that you can get down into a little bubble and just like bomb the highways or bomb the racetrack with. I feel like this is the kind of bike that you could get into trouble with on the highway because it has that ability to go so fast. Do you need a 750? No, probably not. Most people are content and fully capable of just riding a 600. It's unnecessary power to have more than that. I will say though that this bike is very well balanced. It's not top heavy. It doesn't feel heavy. There is not a quick shifter, but there is a back torque limiting clutch. School bus takes priority. I got precious cargo. Woo! Puppy's chasing me. I really enjoy this bike. I don't know that I would buy it new because of the price point. I would look for something older because my use case for this would be track days. This is such a good track bike. I would love to take this to the track and be able to really open this up and use the power that is available to it. I love the tank though. The flared out tank is so nice to just lock your legs into when you're on the racetrack. Again, not necessarily public roads. Like if you're just cruising or commuting on this bike, it's not very comfortable. But again, it's a sport bike. It's not supposed to be comfortable. I'm curious to know, if you're looking at this video, if you're watching this video thinking, should I buy a Gixxer 750? Let me know in the comments below what your intentions for the bike are. I try my best to respond to every comment. If you say it's a commuter bike, we can talk about that. If you say you're going to the track day, I'd love to talk with you more about that. Just let me know what your thoughts are. I don't know if you could hear that clunk. I wonder if it's suspension related. All right, so that'll conclude the test ride, the 2023 Gixxer 750. Wrap it up with some final thoughts.
I had a blast riding the GSX-R750. It's good to be back on a super sport. I don't know that I could do it as my primary ride though. I'm getting older, my wrists hurt, bad back issues, I have knee issues. I'm just not that guy anymore. So for me, it's not necessarily this specific bike, it's just the super sport aspects of a bike. If it's a track weapon, yes. The 750 is an animal on the racetrack. I would hands down choose this over virtually any bike you could give me if I had free reign of bikes to choose. I don't need a 1000 on the track. I'm not a pro racer. I'm not fast. A 750 is more than enough power. The 600s are great, but if I could get that little extra juice with no added weight, 750 is where it's at. With that said, I wouldn't pay $13,000 for this bike. It's a fantastic, awesome amounts of power. The delivery of the power is great. The rideability is great, but $13,000 is a lot for a bike that doesn't have those higher end features. I haven't checked the used market for a while, but I'm pretty sure you can pick one up a little bit older for about $8,000 to $9,000. That's more of the realm of possibility that I would expect to see for a 750. I'd buy it at that price. $13,000 is just too much for my taste on this bike. Let me know what you think. If you like the Gixxer 750, if you have a Gixxer 750, or if you're just a Gixxer fanboy, let me know. If you're a ZX6 fan or a ZX10 fan, let me know why you think it's a better buy. Who knows? Maybe you'll change somebody's mind. Stay safe out there. Have a great day.